Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For this video is going to be a bit different. Stitching up this dress that I got from my sister that's a bit baggy on me with very awkward length sleeves, and it's also kind of long and I want it shorter. So originally for the design I was hoping to add buttons on either side of the center seam. This dress actually has a seam down the center front, but I decided against it because I wanted to be something simple. I didn't want all the buttons and all of that, so I opted for no buttons, but that's on both the front and the back, shorter sleeves, and to make it slightly shorter, the dress itself. I'll start off by measuring my shoulder to bust measurement. It's 9 inches. This is also referred to as the armhole depth. Then I'm going to draw that line so that we have our bust line. Next, I'm going to measure my shoulder to waist measurement. Mine is 16 inches. So I'll measure that on both sides and draw a line. That's now our hip line. Sorry, that's now our waistline. So I'm going to measure 4 inches from this center seam because that's our center. I'll measure 4 inches at the waist and 4 inches at the bust. This is the bust point. This is where our vertical line is going to be, the vertical line for the dart, the center of the dart. I'm going to join these points to come up with the vertical line of our dart. So I'll draw this vertical line all the way to, you see the dress has another seam around the hip area, so that's what I'm going to use as my default hip line. Then for the size of the dart, I am making a 1-inch dart, so that means 0.5 inches on either side at the waistline. Here I am measuring 1/2 inch on either side of this line at the waistline so that we can create our dart, and joining it to the bust point. On the hip line, since I don't want the dart to go all the way to that seam because it's going to make it very bulky, I am measuring 1 inch from the hip line upwards. That's where the dart is going to end. Remember, sometimes, especially if you're upcycling clothes, sometimes you have to try to do what works, because otherwise trying to stitch on such a heavy fabric at the seam is going to make the dart at the hip line look really bad and bulky. That's why I opted to measure an inch upwards so that we don't have that bulk. So what I did for the front, I'll do for the back. The same, shoulder to bust measurement, 9 inches, draw the line. Then shoulder to waist measurement, draw the waistline. Next, measure 4 inches from the center seam on all sides at the bust line and at the hip line and the waistline. Then draw the vertical line for our dart. Join these points to draw the vertical line of our dart. Then at the waistline, 1 inch, meaning half an inch on the right, half an inch on the left of each of these lines to make our darts. Don't forget that at the front we measured 1 inch from the hip line. So we are going to do the same, 1 inch from the hip line upwards. That's where our dart is going to end. Now I'm going to measure my waist measurement, my quarter waist measurement. It's about 28, so 7 inches. Then that's how I'll carve my waist so that it fits me perfectly. So on both sides, 7 inches at the waistline, so that I know how much to stitch. For the length, I didn't show, but I'm going to fold the hem 1.5 inches inwards so that it can make the dress a bit shorter. Here I'm just showing you guys how I will carve out my waistline during stitching. I want it to look nice and curvy. Now for the sleeve, I just eyeballed this one. I just knew where I wanted my sleeves to reach. I wanted a small sleeve, so I decided to cut it. So you'll just stitch the darts and the waist. Here I am stitching the darts and carving the waist with my sewing machine. Then that's it. You can see the sleeve, the darts. Now the dress is way more fitting than it was before. And I also folded 1.5 inches at the hem to make it shorter. That's the curve at the waist on both sides to give me that shape. And here's the final look. I really liked it. I can only imagine it with a pair of high heels. As much as it's not black, I feel like it's a perfect LBD for me. You can see the darts. Thank you so much guys for watching. See you in my next video. I love you guys. Look at the dress. Look at it. I was feeling myself. Bye, loves.